All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast. As I'm joined again by former star racer Jackson Richardson, who keeps bringing the heat with his banter as we chat all things AUSX Open in Melbourne and look ahead to the WSX finale. Firstly, thank you everyone for listening and supporting the site. We really appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our partners in 24MX Dirt Store, Fuchs Silkaline, and Dragon Energy for all their incredible support. As without them, none of this would be possible. All right, welcome, Jats. How's life? And thanks again for joining us, mate. Been slaving it away again.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Just absolutely grinding away, coming off a massive golf weekend. So yeah, it's been a tough week to start, and I'm back on the tools now. So I've just been slogging away, and it's just been brutal. But you know what? Can't complain. I've still got a pulse, so it's all good.
No, mate, you're a machine. You're doing great work up there, mate. Obviously, first topic on the agenda, mate. AUSX Open Melbourne. What an incredible event. 42,000 packed into Marvel Stadium. Probably the most epic event in its scale in Australia ever, probably. So, your thoughts on it, mate? How was it from your end?
Yeah, it was solid, dude. Yeah, like they put on a great event, big crowd. The track they put in there was awesome. I thought the track layout they did for this one was really good, and like all pretty much all the races were absolute heaters. Like there was battles going on everywhere. Like the 250 class was epic. Pretty much every race in that was like awesome. The guys were going at it, and had the Lawrence boys out. Webb was out here. The boys were throwing down. So yeah, it was a solid weekend all around.
Yeah, mate, you obviously delivered some choice content as well from the weekend, but yeah, that Wilsey crash was definitely massive, mate. It was a bloody monster, and yeah, just some other thoughts on the track too, because it certainly bit a few people and deteriorated really fast, didn't it?
Oh man, yeah, like that one. Well, he came out today and said he got scans and stuff done, and yeah, what a savage! Ended up breaking his tibia in that one, and then raced the whole night on the thing. Like that is just an absolute boss move to
Oh, what an
to
animal.
go out and do three main events and on a broken tib. So hats off to Wilsey for that one because yeah, that was like one of the gnarlier wrecks I've seen in a long time. But yeah, dude, like the racing was good. Like it was, yeah, it was a really good night. I thought the show they put together for this one was sick. Like, I mean, I've seen some mixed reviews and stuff on like just having the main events and like not having the heat races and the LCQ and that sort of thing. But I actually preferred this, like just three main events and like then you got the other classes involved like in between, which is like really cool. So yeah, I overall I thought it was solid. Like I thought what they did was really good. And then yeah, not only that, with all the other races from overseas coming in, like yeah, it was a hell of a show.
Yeah, mate, certainly. Obviously, that Triple Crown format they brought back, just the carnage was on again, mate. I've seen it throughout the series, and that's kind of the entertainment value for the fans at the forefront. Probably the riders might like two longer mains or something, but even like you heard the Lawrence brothers saying, those Triple Crowns are no joke, aren't they?
Yeah, dude, that's it. Like yeah, they are dead set, no joke. Like because I've talked about it before, is like I think the reason why most of the guys don't like that format is because you got to do you got to do three starts, and like the starts that's the gnarliest part of the race, like for anyone really, when there's just chaos going everywhere and like just doing one of them or two of them a night usually with a heat race and a main is like gnarly enough. But yeah, doing three of them when everyone's just going ham sandwich, like there's just bound to be chaos. And like, yeah, there was a couple of wrecks on the weekend. Like, I mean, we saw Coop go down. Hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard much on him. By the sounds of it, he's okay, just a bit banged up.
Mm.
But yeah, like it was a bummer to see him go down. And then Jet having a collision off the start with a couple of guys as well. And then the bike getting bent up and they weren't able to fix it and come back out. So that was a bummer too. But yeah, like the track layout itself, I thought was really good. Like it, and the dirt they used there was awesome because in the past they've used some. The first year we went there in 19, the dirt was just ordinary. Like it was super hard pack. It was like going out and riding on the Hume Highway. Like the thing was just rock solid. So it was good. like this year, I thought the dirt was better than ever. Like it almost reminded me of the Arlington Supercross dirt. It's like that. It's like that
Mm.
red dirt. It's kind of sandy, but like it holds up pretty good. Like it got chewed out a bit in the end, but like it didn't get like super rutted out to where it was dangerous. Like like I thought they did a hell of a job with it, and it made for good racing. Like there was a lot of passes, there was a lot of like switchbacks going on, which like uh like that provided good racing as well. And like there were guys just switching back and forth. Like one guy would make a pass, and if he made just the slightest mistake, the guy would just get him back past again. So yeah, like the track was awesome in my opinion.
Yeah, mate, it's really cool racing, and it was good that those guys, the big heavy hitters, and just everyone, like there's a few injuries here and there, obviously, but it'd be interesting to see what it would do if, one of those sort of top guys, Lawrence brothers and Webb, would get an injury. Would they come back next year, or they be wary? So it's really good for obviously the longevity of the event. That looks like Webb's okay and Jet was okay. So because once you have a bad sort of disaster, they're pretty wary to come back, aren't they?
Yeah, no, that's it. And I know, like, especially the factory teams overseas, like, I mean, they would always be worried about something like this happening in an off-season race. I mean, some teams don't even let their riders compete in any off-season races. So yeah, like to have that happen, like, yeah, it was a bit of a bummer, and you hope it doesn't affect the way the teams do these things down the road. But at the end of the day, like it's just like it's awesome to have these guys out here, and like it's just so good for the sport here in Oz just to have these guys out here because like on the weekend, like they had 42,000 people in there. Like it's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest crowd that's been to an Aussie Supercross before. Some of these people have probably never seen a Supercross race before over here. So yeah, it's just good and like progressing the sport and hopefully keep it going in a positive direction.
Yeah, it's a real statement event, and hopefully, they'll get some even bigger riders. Like we might see Deegan next year, for example, mate. That'd be pretty epic.
Yeah.
And yeah, the AME group doing an amazing job and obviously promoting that event in collaboration with the Lawrence brothers. They really spread the word out pretty impressively, mate. And I guess you'll be penciled in next year to be heading down, mate, unless you've got another
Yeah, I'm
golf
definitely
birthday
locking.
trip.
I'm
But
100% locking in that weekend right now for next year. I'm gonna make sure that I've got nothing on. I don't care what's on. Even if my mate's having a 31st golf weekend, I'm saying, hey, you know what? I'm putting the foot down on this one. I'm going to Melbourne.
yeah, mate, because obviously your mates down there, Jace from Gypsy Tales and Sam, they were probably sending you some messages, mate, saying, "What are you doing? Where are you?" Just couldn't make it down there, but yeah, definitely looked like an amazing event, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was absolutely gutted when I see it was because it was Jason, Sam was down there, and one of my other mates, Hayden Franklin, who's Meddy's mechanic, who he's from Townsville. I've known him for a lot of years, and good mates with him too. So seeing those three in a photo together, I was like, oh man, this is just heartbreaking. I'm like, that should be me in that photo. Well, I'll get to another one. But yeah, sometimes you can't have everything. So next year, I'm definitely locking this one in. I need to get back to one live and in person. Might even get to a national or two next year, maybe as well.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, yeah, you'd be well received there for sure, mate. Bringing the content, be excellent. And obviously, you mentioned Medi there. Obviously, awesome career for Medi. Finished it up there, retired now with a bit of a nasty knock, mate. But it looks like he's okay. But yeah, just what a legend of the sport, mate. 24 years, the guy's an absolute weapon. So awesome for him to sort of finish the career on that stage. Obviously, not the way it ended in the racing, but he looks like he's okay, and I'm sure he'll be around at the races doing his thing with the brands and his team and all that kind of thing, mate. But just what a career! You obviously know him better than most.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like it was such a bummer to see that made. Like because we were when we were in Port Douglas, we were out for dinner, and me and a couple of my mates, like we were only able to watch it on our phones, so we had that. And then when I seen that, I was just absolutely gutted for him, man. Just for a guy that's just had such a stellar career, and like, you hate to see it sometimes. I mean, you see it in every sport where unfortunately, you don't get the choice on how you're going to go out. And unfortunately, that happened for him. He took a little bit of a nap in the main there, coming together with Cloudy off the start. Like which he was down for a while too, which I was real worried about him at that point because I was like, geez, he's been down for a long time. I hope it's nothing serious. But yeah, just a bit of a head knock, and I think he's broken a rib or two. But other than that, he was in good spirits, which was awesome. And yeah, just glad to see him get up and finish the career off after like just such an awesome career and like just one of the better dudes in the sport that you could ever come across. I mean, the guy is such a legend, and he's been a hero of mine for a long time. Like I grew up watching him like since I like started watching the overseas races, like back in 2002, 2003 when he first went over there. So that was when he first got on my radar, and I've just loved him ever since then. Being like a true underdog, like may not have been like as fast as some of the top guys over there, but he just always had grit, and like the dude just always worked his ass off, and yeah, he just ended up having a super successful career. So yeah, hats off to him, and I hope he's enjoying retirement now, and enjoy life with a little less stress.
Oh yeah, mate. Wish him all the best for sure. He's had an epic career, and I'm sure he'll still be around the sport, which will be, just amazing for younger riders too. And he's a perfect example to follow of how to do it and how to conduct yourself for sure, mate. So well said. And I guess now we better talk about Joey Savacci, the champion, mate, the Aussie Supercross SX1 champion. Bit of drama for him in that last one, mate, with the flat, but he got there in
Yeah.
the end. It was definitely a bit of a hair raiser, but yeah, what an effort by him. Obviously, he's got that sort of framework on that Honda bike there. He's looking really happy after that triumph sort of year in America on the 250. Didn't quite go to plan, mate, but yeah, just an incredible rider. He's been doing great in WSX. And yeah, it was pretty funny on that post. He said there was actually more than two riders racing tonight as well on his Instagram post, having a little dig. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, what a ride. Talk us through his
Yeah.
series, mate. He had ups and downs. He had the wall ride, the 50-50, whatever you want to call it, the flat tire, but he still got there, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he had a highlight of the season. That's for sure. With some of the stuff that went on, the wall ride being one of them at the Gong. But man, he just put in a solid season. Like just from the second day at Redcliffe onwards, like he just hit another gear, and then like pretty much from Wollongong on, like he was just a step above the rest of the guys. So yeah, he got dialed in on that Honda really quick, and like yeah, he's just shown awesome speed. Like obviously in the Oz Supercross series, but in the WSX series as well. Like he's just like I think this is probably as good as he's ever looked like throughout his career. Like I think he's just hit another level, which is awesome to see. And then yeah, like facing a bit of adversity on the night as well with a flat tire, which yeah, that was pretty crazy. And yeah, it was crazy too because like Dino coming in with that shoulder injury, like I knew he was going to be struggling a bit, and I was even thinking like, man, I don't even know if he should line up with this thing because I've torn my labrum multiple times and have ridden with it, and that is just not fun to ride with. And then you got to worry about it coming out as well. And I thought, man, I don't even know if he should even be lining up. Like what's he got to prove here? But Dino just went out. Like the first two races weren't as good. The last race he came so close to win, and then like with the situation with Joey, it just goes to show you just don't know what can happen. Hey, like that was crazy. There was a second there where I was like, far out. I think Dino's about to win this thing. Like this is insanity. What is going on? I did not have this in the script, but like that just goes to show that anything can happen. And another thing is like Dino's just as tough as they come as well. So man, to like as if you couldn't respect the guy anymore, and he goes out and puts on a performance like that, and then going at it with Hunter in the last race was sick. That one was probably the best race of the night. So yeah, like it was just awesome. He put on a show, the big fella.
Oh, what a legend for sure. And obviously, he's concreting just a couple of weeks ago, mate. And to be doing that,
Yeah,
WSX and then
maybe that
OzX.
might have been half the reason for the injury. Is the shoulders were a little tuckered out from doing the concreting, and he just And yeah, and then I guess he wasn't really counting on Freezy coming in and blindsiding him as well. So so yeah, that'll do anyone in, that's for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, talk about just straight grit, because like I'm sure he was struggling with that thing all day, like because that, especially like racing a week later, like after doing that, like that is just nuts, dude. Like that must have been so uncomfortable to ride with. And then not only that, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, shit, this thing could literally come out at any point in time. And like after that, like you just like it's just like Jesus, take the wheel on this one. Like that's just how it is. But yeah, he got through the night. He ended up second in the championship, which hey, I mean, hey, that's nothing to be down about. Like he never gave up, put everything into it, and like now, like I don't know if he's planning on getting it fixed, like getting it surgically repaired. I'm not sure yet. Like I know he's out for Abu Dhabi, but yeah, hopefully he can just heal up, come back healthy, and give it another crack. I'd love to have Dino out here again, like for another year. Like it's just he's just so good to have out here at these races, and like he's just promotes the sport so well. Like his vlogs are awesome. Like he's super interactive, and yeah, so hopefully we get him back out here again for sure.
Oh, well said, mate. Massive respect to him. Obviously, he really wanted to defend that crown he won last year, mate, but it just wasn't to be. But yeah, he brings so much, yeah, brings that atmosphere. The fans love him. He's got that worldwide sort of reputation. And obviously, in the post-race press conference, he dropped some gems. He was saying that, obviously, one, be tough and show his little man that, you got to grit it out when things aren't going so easy. And he said something like, gee, ducking my shoulder wasn't healthy. I would have done the clean sweep on you lads.
Oh, you just gotta love him, eh? Just with the chirps, even like I'm sure he was bummed after like not being able to get the championship, but like the dude just knows how to like make light of his situation and have a laugh, and like oh yeah, he's just a gem for the sport.
Yeah, hopefully he can go on and, do all those off-season races he wants. I believe Tanti's stepping in for him at Abu Dhabi, so that'll be pretty cool for
Yeah.
him. And obviously another guy that's going to be racing there's Nicoletti on the Yamaha there, mate. So it's pretty cool as they look ahead to that. The season still goes for some of those guys. Another good opportunity for those dudes. And before we go back to AUSX, how much are you looking forward to that WSX in Abu Dhabi, mate? It's going to be box office, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be a good one, dude. Like it'll be a tight track. I mean, I am eager to see if this track layout is actually gonna if they're gonna do the actual track layout that they put out today, because I don't know if they got the I don't know if they got the diameter of the floor space in there, but they got a lot of stuff that they're planning on packing in there. But yeah, I don't know how this one's gonna go, but it'll be good. I believe it's on a Thursday morning
I
out
think
time.
that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Thursday morning, like at midnight, I think. Like it starts. So I don't think I'll be watching it live, because I'm gonna have to get up at 5 a.m. to sweat it out in the heat. So I'll probably have to watch a little bit on the way to work if I had to guess. But yeah, it should be good. I mean, that race provided a lot of like it's a tight track. I'm sure the riders aren't really too much of a fan of that track of that like stadium, like just with how tight the track is. But it made for good racing last year, and it should be good again. I know Big Vinny will probably be chomping at the bit for this one, coming in with a head of steam for the last round, looking to make some noise, and boy, it's going to be epic.
And what's your take on the inside-outside section they've got going again, mate? And obviously there'll be quite a few eyes on it with the Formula One the following weekend, so it should be quite a good turnout for that one too, mate. A lot of eyes on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like they got a big crowd there last year. Like yeah, the crowd over there is just amazing. So yeah, it's good that they're tapping into that market, and then also doing it on the same week as F1, which is really cool. Like especially to get in with F1. Like F1's probably I mean I would have to guess is the biggest motorsport platform in the world. I would have to imagine. So yeah, to be doing something with them is pretty cool. And then yeah, bringing in a new set of eyes, people that might not have seen it before and are seeing it for the first time. So So yeah, it'll be a good. It's good that they have an event over there, definitely.
Yeah, mate, well said. And obviously back to the Aussie Supercross. Few words on the likes of Jed Beaton and Clout. Obviously doing really well. Obviously, he wasn't quite the night for Clout, but he still got third in the championship. Had a great series, won races, was battling up there with Savachi and Wilson on many occasions. So really confidence boosting series for him as well as Beaton, who was like we always said, just really obviously surprised himself, and he was just the way he adapted and grew into it so well, mate. Got more comfortable as he got on, and obviously him and his brother Ross putting in a huge effort down there, and a lot of the other riders that are on that program, they just made immense progress in Supercross. It was really impressive. So they're definitely doing something that's working nicely there, mate. The proven formula on the Pro Formula program.
Yeah,
So yeah, excited to see what he can do indoors and outdoors as well. Jed Beat next year too, mate. So a couple of thoughts on those lads from you.
yeah, definitely. Like Cloudy obviously had a solid season, wrapping up third in the championship, and yeah, got a couple of race wins under the belt and a few podiums. Unfortunately for him, the last two rounds probably didn't go his way as much. Just a couple of crashes here and there, like coming together with a couple of guys. And yeah, he probably seemed like he just didn't get the starts at the last two rounds that we were used to seeing him having at the first couple. So, but other than that, like very solid season. Like I always knew Luke Clout was going to be like a contender, like from the get go. Like Supercross is probably his more preferred discipline, and he's lightning quick on it, and like got Super Pole a couple of times. So yeah, like his confidence is just going to grow, and like they made a lot of progress with that bike at Empire. So yeah, for next year, like because he'll be there again next year, I believe, and yeah, if he could carry that momentum into next year, like he'll be 100% a title contender. And then also with Jed Beaton, like he was hands down, like out of everyone this season, he was my biggest surprise. Because yeah, I was wondering how he was going to go, like getting back into Supercross, being away from it for a long time, and then like was never known as like a Supercross guy. Like, because the last time he rode, he struggled a fair bit with it, but man, he just like came out and was just super consistent every weekend. Got a couple of podiums in the end at a couple of rounds, and like just looked smooth as silk. Like it was awesome to watch and see his progression from round one to the last round on the weekend. Like he just made massive improvements throughout the season. So it's good to see, and like with him next year, like he's just gonna have so much confidence from this year, and I'm just keen to see what he can do next year.
Oh, mate, absolutely. It's going to be exciting times, and yeah, it'll be cool to see how it's coming around quick, mate, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be good to see the Pro MX back in action, and then obviously build in the momentum to next year's Supercross, mate. But I guess on to the SX2 class now. Shane McElrath, obviously the season didn't start so well for him, mate, only picking up 13 points at the first round, but then he's been flawless ever since, picking up the maximum amount of points in the 4 rounds afterwards, mate. So just really dominant, controlling. He showed his experience, maturity, discipline. He had his incidences with his teammates at certain points, which were made for some really exciting racing. But yeah, Shane, he was just too good, wasn't he, mate? And he'll probably be too good. Cap off that season with a nice WSX SX2 crown as well, mate. So yeah, props to Shane McElrath, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't looking too good after the first round. He did have a very limited amount of time on that Honda, so like he was probably going to be a little slow to begin with. But yeah, I mean, from the second round onwards, man, he just found his groove straight away, and yeah, was just dominant for the rest of the series. Like he just picked up a ton of momentum from the second round onwards, and like just never looked out of place one bit after that. He was just lightning quick the whole time, and like just super consistent too. Like the other guys had their issues here and there, but he just always stayed out of trouble. And even when like there was a bad start here and there, he just didn't look like he was in a panic at all. Just methodically made his way through, and yeah, I believe he won every race from like every overall from round two onwards. And like yeah, so just super consistent, like which he always like has been. So yeah, and then not only that, but with the WSX races as well, like he's just been on another level, and like right now, I don't know what his plans are for next year at this point, but hopefully with a couple of good performances, he can maybe pick up a solid ride somewhere and like hopefully have a chance to contend in America or somewhere. I mean, it'd be awesome to have him back in the Supercross over here next year, even possibly on a 450 with the other guys. Like I think that'd be like awesome to see too.
Yeah, mate, definitely mix it up there. Having him, Savachi, and Wilson would be pretty awesome along with the Aussie guys. But yeah, no, he's impressive. You hear sort of certain things that he might be able to work out a deal to stay in that firepower team for Supercross, obviously on a 450. So that'd be really cool to see, mate. But yeah, obviously he was finished up on that Mad Parts Kawasaki last year, but he's been through so many teams and stuff the last couple of years. Just want to sort of hopefully he can find some consistency and continuity because it makes a big difference when you have that framework, doesn't it, mate?
Oh, definitely. I mean, consistency is just like that's the biggest key to having success. Yeah, it's just like like it starts off with the team you got around you, and when things are dysfunctional, it makes it like super difficult. And yeah, he's had a rough run like over the last couple of years. He got let go by Suzuki this year, which was a bummer for him. And then yeah, he's just been jumping around from like team to team and yeah, hopefully he can just find a stable base and like he's obviously found like a good program in the Honda Racing Australia team this year. I mean, he worked well with them. Like after the first round, like the first round didn't go too well, but like he had a very limited amount of time on the bike. But like they just worked at it. Like round two, he made like leaps and bounds of a difference, like from just in one night, like just figuring the bike out, and then like after that, like once they had more time on it from there, like he just clicked another gear and just looked unstoppable. And like especially over in the States, like when he's been on the factory teams over there, like he's just super consistent and like he can like he's shown he's battled for championships over there. So yeah. So hopefully like we can see him like on a solid team and he can make some noise over there and like yeah, I hope nothing but the best for him as well because like he's a solid dude, like he's as nice as they come. So yeah, hopefully he has a good run next year and yeah, hopefully we'll see him back out here again.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well said. And obviously, as we go down the list, Cole Thompson ended up getting second, beat Connolly in points in there with a pretty strong showing at the last round, but definitely got all the speed. And yeah, he'll probably be back next year. You'd imagine someone would be having him because he's shown his class, even though he's had those dramas that have sort of got the fans on his back and whatnot. But yeah, Brody Connolly, he obviously locked up third in the championship. Another nice surprise, great series from him, given his lack of supercross racing and riding, mate. So yeah, just kept learning, kept building, keep progressing, had the speed for McElrath on some occasions as well. And same as Larwood as well, looked really good strides as well. They're just making a lot of gains, these youngsters, and it shows having that longer series is just so beneficial, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully we can the I'm hoping that it comes out like next year that we do have a longer Supercross series and like give and especially like yeah, like you said, guys like Brody Connolly and Alex Larwood and Caden Minia also who absolutely lit it up on the weekend. Like
Yeah,
guys
Reed
like that.
Taylor as well.
Yeah, Reed Taylor too. He was another surprise for me this year too, because yeah, he showed awesome speed, and I like the way he rides too. I like his riding style. I think he's really good as well. And like these guys who like, I think some of them have like had a little bit of Supercross experience before this, but like not a crazy amount. Like I know Brody Connolly barely had any coming into this season, and just seeing the progression they made from round one to the end, like yeah, this is why we need a longer series, and not only that, a longer time in between seasons to get these guys up to speed, like and compete with the imports that come over because, like we've said, like they've just got so much experience under their belt, like from predominantly doing Supercross most of the year over there, and they got a solid base. So we need to like give our guys the best opportunity to succeed and like show that they can run with the top guys from overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Obviously, just hope the series and our riders just keep progressing. And it's kind of a good thing when you see someone like Minia, for example, going over there to test himself, be the next one. Obviously, all the signs point towards that Star Racing program. It's sort of been in the works for a while. And it's cool to have a Kiwi over there already. Cole Davies has shown what a class act he is and should develop into, mate. So it's obviously a lot of eyes. Obviously, a lot of riders want to race over here, but it's also a really good platform to keep these Aussies coming through the ranks, mate. So, and obviously following on from that, what was your take on the junior classes there on the weekend? There was some impressive riding, and those kids are pretty fearless as well, aren't
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, the SX3 class was awesome to watch. That's been one of the more exciting races of the season is those SX3 races because those boys are just going absolutely ham and like they're just letting it hang out and like oh it's so good to see. And then not only that, the 85s as well. I mean, we were watching that on the weekend because I did a few supercrosses back in the day when I was on an 80 and I never jumped the triple once. Like these kids would have lapped me like 3 times over, I reckon, if I was out there like at the speed I was going back in the day. Like these kids are just insane with some of the stuff they're doing, but it's good. Like we're getting them this experience like early. Like sometimes it's going to go wrong. Like we've seen Tate Reed have a couple of hits this season, but I mean, like he bounced back. He got second on the weekend, like after having a few hard hits during the year. And yeah, just like the kids like Jack Nunn, Cooper Ford, like those kids, like they are just shredding at the moment, and it's awesome to see. I like that we're getting these kids like involved, in this series, and I've heard JB talk about it as well. Justin Brayton, he's a
they?
massive advocate for getting the 85 classes involved in the series and getting them this experience, and then you know getting this experience so that way when they finally hit the pro ranks, like it's not so much of a shock to them and like they're able to adapt a lot quicker and they got that experience under their belt. So yeah, the races were awesome on the weekend, and yeah, like it's good that and especially with Reedy being involved in it as well and like help guiding these young kids through this series is awesome to see as well. So yeah, it's in a good place, and yeah, I like what they're doing with these junior classes.
Yeah, mate, it's a great stepping stone. Obviously, racing in front of those huge crowds is obviously really good for the future as well. Hold them in good stead for when, they sort of do that when they're older because there's not many opportunities at that age to race in front of, say, 42,000 people, is there, mate?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can't practice for that. Yeah, you definitely can't practice for that. You can like try to visualize it as much as you want at the practice track, but once the lights are on and everyone's there, like it's a whole different ball game. So yeah, it's good to get him out there and get him in amongst it.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. And before we let you go, mate, any final thoughts on AUSX, WSX? Looking ahead to that, mate, should be pretty wild. But yeah, both the series are certainly keeping everyone entertained during the off season of the major racing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because especially this time of year for like just motocross in general, this part of the year is usually a bit of a lull. Like there's not much happening. So yeah, like with the Aussie Supercross series and then the WSX series happening as well, where it's like they're happening like it seems like it's happened like each weekend for a while. Like we've had Aussie Supercross, then there's a WSX, then it's back to Aussie Supercross. So it's awesome if you're a moto fan. Like it's great, especially happening at this time of year. And then not only that, it's like giving an opportunity to guys that might not maybe have a ride overseas to also race and perform in a series and get their name out there as well. Like that's good for them as well. So yeah, I think like especially with this, like with both of these series happening at the end of the year, like I reckon it's sick.
Yeah, a lot of positives, and obviously both series are very ambitious and they want to keep growing their platforms and footprint. So interesting to see what it looks like. Next year could be even more racing, it's for sure, and how they split the riders up was going to be pretty interesting too, mate. But obviously, what's the week ahead looking like for you as well, mate? Just yeah, before we let you go as well, mate, it's flat out, no doubt.
Oh yeah, we are well and truly wedged at the moment. We got a lot of work on. We got our Christmas party on Friday actually, so
Ooh.
that'll probably be a big one. A couple of beers will be going down there. But yeah, then we'll just be hammering away again up until Christmas, and then we'll have a little bit of time off, and I'll probably be on the couch for most of it because that's where I like to be at the moment, unless I'm out on the job site. A lot of golf will be getting played too, so yeah, we got a couple of big things going for the end of the year.
No, mate, awesome. Definitely thanks for taking the time to join us on these, mate, throughout the Aussie Supercross season. It's been awesome. And yeah, we'll definitely line some more episodes up next year. Supercross, American Supercross stuff, GPs, whatever you're sort of into, mate. But probably the AMA stuff. You have a great knowledge of that, mate. So if you're keen for that, we'll make that happen. But yeah, before we let you go, mate, we'd definitely like to thank the sponsors in 24MX, Dirt Store, Fuchs Silkaline, and Dragon Energy for all their support, as without them, none of this would be possible. All right, thanks again, mate. Been a ripper chat this one again, mate, and all the best up there in the heat.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Have a good one.